these stories are in a way going extinct. What do we need the AR for?
We're giving you the full tour, Peter. Where the road ends is where the Skinwalker Caves begin. Is that it over there?
Do you think there are people out here on the res that don't even know who the president is?
It's a bad omen now.
Oh, wow.
That cave that we're going up to.
You couldn't pay me any amount of money to go up in that right now.
If the spirits allow us, then we won't get stuck, Peter.
So things are on the up in Dilkan.
We're right on the border now.
What's the story of a house like this?
Do you believe in UFOs? This is where I grew up. They pretty much robbed him clean.
In case the Hopis kidnap us?
Yeah, right.
Wagons were coming and going here?
This is the res right here, Peter.
Deep res.
Wait till we get closer. I love it out here. This is home, man.
This is far out.
Yeah.
Darwin, we're getting into it today, yeah?
Yeah, bet you we are there, Peter. We're doing this, brother. This is where my home root is. This is where I'm from. This very soil is where my great grandmother and them all walked, so.
We're gonna see the ruins of her house today, right?
Everything.
And Darwin, though he lives, this is a good story. Some of you guys know your story, some don't, but Darwin, who lives on the Lakota reservation now, Pine Ridge, with the Lakota people, came back for this video, and you grew up speaking Navajo, which I find very cool because you're a young guy, and I thought that those days were sort of over, but they're not for you and many others, I guess.
Yep. When we greet each other, I say Yat e Shadane.
Yat e Shadane.
Yat e Shadane.
It means welcome my...
Good morning, my in-law.
You're calling me an in-law?
Yep. As Navajos, we like to joke about in-laws. And anybody we came across, we call them Shadane. So from now on, whenever you cross paths with another Navajo, you say, Yat e Shadane. Hello, my in-law.
What do we got here, Darwin?
This is the Hogan.
Explain to those that don't know what a Hogan is.
It's an octagon house shape. Navajos, that's what we have traditionally. This was our home long time ago. Originally, Hogans were actually made out of like sticks and like logs and mud.
Okay.
Kind of like an earth home. But modern days, we build our Hogans like this.
So do you stay out here in the summer, or what's going on right now?
We utilize this as with ceremonial purposes a lot. So, well, I mean, sometimes I bring my family out during the summertime and we sleep in here. So
you sleep on the ground, you put some mats down?
Originally, that's how it was a long time ago. But nowadays, with Angel, she don't like the hard ground, so we have a big old mattress.
Angel's your wife?
Yes, she is. She's a Lakota, so.
Right, the Lakotas don't do this.
No. I mean, they sleep in teepees. They did use this on the ground, but with teepees. But this is Hogan, so totally different for her. This is my family home. So I wasn't born here, but I was raised my whole life here. My dad was one of a relocatee from Navajo and Hopi land dispute. Government screwed a lot of Navajos up by pushing them off their land. My dad and his family were part of that. So the government tried to rewrite their wrong by giving them a free house.
Okay.
Building free. So this house was...
So where was your father before here?
Just straight across over there.
But that was a Hopi dispute? Hopi land dispute?
Yeah. That's what they say, but actually it was the government. They just called it the Navajo Hopi land dispute.
What year was this?
In the 1967.
But this is a sweet piece of property.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. They gave us at least an acre of land, but you know, this is all of our land. We all share land here. We all respect one another.
Wow.
It's open grazing, so there's cattle everywhere and sheep all over the place, and you just gotta be careful at night when you're on the road.
All right, Darwin, your brother here?
Yep.
Your name?
Dustin.
Dustin.
Yep.
Your wife back there, your mother, who is very sweet. What a nice lady. She doesn't want to be on camera, so she's back in the kitchen.
Yep.
And then what do we have here, Dar?
This is just a showcase of all the things that we value in this home, from like ceremonial instruments to like, you know, designs like beadwork and my dad's kachina carving. My dad was a big time kachina carver. He was part Hopi. And we got all this displayed, and we have one of the very few Navajo code talker GI Joes. So that's like one of the
Navajo code talker GI Joe.
Yep.
That is so cool. So for those that don't know, in World War II, hey, what's up, guy? World War II, the Navajos were used. Navajo language was used.
Yep.
So the Japanese couldn't tap into English and understand what was going on.
Yeah. This is home. This is where a Navajo man grew up pretty much all his life until I was captured by the Lakotas.
And you're Navajo man, for those that don't know. And your wife, Angel, is Lakota, and she kidnapped you, right?
Yeah.
She brought you up to Lakota Pine Ridge.
I went in, I stepped foot on her res, and they captured me, so I never went home.
Navajos love Lakota, that one.
Yeah, that's what she says, but I think Lakotas love Navajos. So.
You two love each other.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We give
but your mom backed that. She said you guys love the Lakota, the Navajos do.
Yep.
But the Crows told me all the ladies love the Crows.
Oh, that's going to be something with her.
Am I stirring up the pot there? Okay. I always do. What do we need the AR for?
Coyotes. Coyotes, and then there's
Is that an AR?
Yeah. Then there's mountain lions.
So when you guys go out into the nature here, you bring an AR or some firearm?
Yeah.
Just for safety reason. They got big mountain lions out here.
There we go.
I kind of forgot some areas, but that's why we're bringing my little brother, Dust. So he's going to
also
show
have the
us.
private security.
Yeah, also, yep. Our
in case we run into
AKA the
trouble.
mayor of Tisto.
In case the Hopis kidnap us?
Yeah, right.
Because we're right on the border, right?
Yeah, so Tisto, that's where Navajos and Hopis actually met and traded things. They were really good at planting corn and everything, and we were good at silversmithing and a turquoise, like this.
Oh, yeah.
So we always got along.
Saddle view.
Saddle Butte, yep. Especially when you're from behind it, it looks like a saddle. Also, there's a champion team roper, Derek Begay. Those of you that are big, like rodeo fanatics,
Everyone's last name is Begay, huh?
It's a big name. In Navajo, it says Begay. And when we were getting released from our POW camp from the United States in Fort Sumner, New Mexico, they were giving out names, saying that you guys need names. We can't let you wander around with, at the time they call it savage names. For example, man who shoots a deer with an arrow or something like that. Native culture, we were given names that we did, that we performed, whether in battle or some in daily life. So that's how we earned our names.
What was, say, your great-grandfather's name?
My great-great-grandfather, his name was Atalatohi, which was a sharpshooter.
His name was Sharpshooter?
Yeah, because he was good with a long rifle.
Sort of like Dust?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so he probably has that in his blood, right? I mean, he has that in his blood. He's always carrying that gun. He's actually a sharpshooter, so he gets it from my great-great-grandpa's side. He was a chief. He had like 6 wives, so there's a lot of our relatives from all over the Navajo res that we never met. This cattle guard right here is the separation between Navajo land on that side and Hopi land on this side. So right...
Wait, we're going to Hopi land?
Yep.
Okay.
This right here is the border. We're right on the border now.
So...
Hopi and our tail end of this truck is on Navajo land.
Interesting. Any different feelings when you go to Hopi land? Or is it,
no. This was
actually... It all feels like one?
Yeah, it's all one. Like, this boundary was actually drawn by the government. The government separated the Navajos and Hopis like this. My dad grew up right over there. We'll be driving right by it.
Oh, right up here.
Yep. And everybody else, all the Navajos were all relocated, maybe like different parts of the country or in the big cities or on the border towns of the Navajo Nation. And a lot of them were located near like bars.
Oh, there you go.
So it's like...
It's for healthy living.
Yeah, so the government kind of like, they knew what they were doing. And today, they found out that the government pushed them out only because there was coal, uranium, and copper all in these areas. So now they're mining in those areas. This is the res right here, Peter.
Deep res.
There's deep res.
There's res and then there's deep res, right?
Yeah.
The res most people see are maybe that main road that I came in on.
Yeah.
You gonna get us stuck, Dar?
Probably not.
The rental car companies love me.
If the spirits allow us, then we won't get stuck, Peter. We'll be all right.
You gonna get that, Dar?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
This is the res, man.
This video is sponsored by Budget Rent-A-Cars, where the vehicle has no limits.
Still got my driving skills even though I'm from South Dakota now.
When we're in deep res like this, maybe you misguide us, Dar, and put us in a hole. No cell phone coverage, or do you have some cell phone coverage?
No, none.
So we just walk out of here for the next day or so?
Yeah.
All right.
Is that it over there? Oh, okay, yep. Where the road ends is where the Skinwalker Caves begin.
So how much do the spirits dictate your life, or how much do you feel the spirits are involved with your daily life?
You know, it's every day. Navajos have a lot of taboos that we can and can't do. For example, we're going up to a Skinwalker Cave. We're just going to go only so far close. We can't go in, because if we go in, we're going to be bringing something back home with us. A spirit's going to be attached to us, and bad spirits, you know, back in the 1800s, back in the old days, we used to use this as a tool, as a weapon in battle or hunting. We would fight the enemies by shape-shifting.
Shape-shifting.
Or shapeshifters. They say that Skinwalkers shapeshift utilizing their spirit. So they would just go out, their body stays, but their spirit leaves. And they would go out and go hunting or go kill an enemy. And then as years came, our own people got jealous of each other. Jealousy divided the tribe, the people. And so that,
the Navajo.
Yep. So that way of life, they started using it against each other. It's a bad omen now. We don't utilize it, we don't practice it, but there are some people that utilize it in that way. So that cave that we're going up to, it's a gathering. I'm not sure if it still is, but that was a gathering of where skinwalkers would meet up and conduct a ceremony. They utilize a dead animal carcass, like a deer, coyote. They drape it over themselves, and whatever they are wearing, their spirit takes off as that. So that cave right there is actually one of the darkest caves around here. We don't go in it, but we can take you to it. That's why for our protection, he has his AR-15.
Yeah, but the AR-15 does nothing with spirits.
No, but he puts ashes on it.
What do you mean?
Ash in Navajo tradition, when we conduct ceremonies, we use ashes on ourselves. A bullet alone won't shoot a spirit. So an ash on the bullet will actually penetrate a spirit. But
spirits you can't see.
No, you can't. But something might come out, like maybe a coyote, something, a mountain lion.
Okay, so come out in an actual mammal or whatnot.
There's probably someone in there right now, I'm not sure. So for our protection.
Well, I don't know if it's just I'm in the moment, but it does feel pretty heavy and intense up here.
Yeah. It is that dark energy.
Darkness.
Yeah, I don't know what's. Now that cave goes.
What's Dust doing with the hands over the soil?
Somebody's foot tracks.
Somebody's foot tracks?
Yeah. So now that he says that, it's got to be active. This cave is pretty active still.
So you guys are okay with going up this far?
We can go a little bit more, but as long as we don't go in. I don't know how this cave originated, but we were grown up, told stories about this.
So your elders would teach you stories about this cave?
Yeah, kind of like stay away from it.
Okay, you didn't listen too well.
Yeah, no, obviously we're going, but as long as we don't go in, you know what I mean?
Wow, it goes deep in there,
It's deep in there. My dad actually had white buddies from Phoenix way back in the day when, you know, in their party days, he brought them up here. They actually went as far as they could, and they said, is the wind so strong in there that they only went in with like lighters? It kept blowing it out. They kept turning. They had flashlights and their batteries died. Like there's something in there that doesn't want them to see. You know, like there's a spirit in there that's not allowing anybody who's not affiliated with that ceremony to see anything. Oh yeah, there's even, look at.
What is this?
That pottery, Anasazi pottery.
Can I touch it?
No.
Don't touch it.
That's a bad omen.
Okay.
There's bad spirits.
Glad I asked.
Anything.
Why does Anasazi pottery have bad spirits?
Well, those were dark times back then.
Okay.
They were living they lived a tough, rough life. And sometimes their spirits are still lingering, and out of respect.
Okay.
Everything's all about respect around here. There might be drawings on the walls. We don't desecrate it.
Yeah.
Because those are ancestors. These are our ancestors. They've been through a long, hard battle before we all showed up. So there was a fence line that went around it. They tried to keep people away from it. A lot of people were hurt from it.
Hurt from it how?
By the bad spirits. Those who participate in these ceremonies, they don't have a heart, man. Like for them to learn something in this ceremony, they have to sacrifice a loved one. Now, I'm not talking about like hog time to the table and draining their blood. What I mean by sacrificing a loved one is for them to gain more experience for that certain ceremony, they're going to have to give up maybe their son or somebody to gain that power. That son or daughter or somebody is going to pass away, maybe in a car accident, heart attack, something. It'll look naturally.
That still goes on?
Yeah, and like I said, like you gotta have no heart to do that kind of ceremony.
But is that common?
It's pretty damn common. There are people that we know that actually done this, and it's like, why would you sacrifice, you know, your own loved one? Like it doesn't have to be your daughter or your son. It could be someone really dear to you, a spouse. You're giving up their life so you gain their life and you gain another power. Like, you know, it makes their medicine bundle stronger.
What do you mean?
Like if they want, then the more lives they take, they're collecting their spirit within their bundle. I don't know what kind of a bundle they have.
Okay.
And the more lives they take, and their ceremony will go like the way they plan it. They want to go out and hurt somebody that lives right across, it's going to happen right away. Sadly, there are people our age, his age, that still practice it.
Really does?
Even younger. Like,
it just comes from their parents, right?
There are people that will take their kids into these kind of ceremonies that are newborns or like still, I mean, not newborns, but still growing. They instill it within their mind. So, you know,
so then there's no way out for those kids unless there's some big intervention of some sort when they get older.
Unless they're smart enough to know, you know, what's wrong and what's right and wrong.
So with any community, anywhere in the world, there's always good and evil. In each person, there's good and evil, right?
Right.
And in the point of life is to bring your good out and not your evil.
Yeah.
And for those that do the opposite, it's maybe a subset 5% or 10% or who knows, but it's obviously not everybody or the majority.
There's good medicine man and there's bad medicine man. The bad medicine man, they conduct it in dark places. Out here, look exactly where we're at. There's nobody, so they're in there late at night. They only conduct it at night.
So when someone says they're a medicine man, that could be the best thing or the worst thing.
Yeah. Like you said, you can feel the vibe, man. Like that energy here.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm just caught up in the moment because I'm not from here, and your guys' stories definitely like elevate my feeling.
Yeah.
But how I do feel standing here right now is that's intense, and you couldn't pay me any amount of money to go up in that right now.
Yeah. Me either, man. I would not.
Some bones.
Oh yeah, look at that. There's some bones right there. Now, these are stories that we grew up with. These are stories that were taught to us from our great-great-grandmas and our grandmas and our So, you know, somebody else from on the other side of the reservation in New Mexico might have a different narrative.
Like if they're over in the town of Shiprock or something, they might feel differently.
So totally different.
Which is hard for people to understand how big the Navajo Nation is.
Yep.
Like Shiprock, New Mexico is what, 4 hours from here?
Yeah. Back in the day, a lot of our elders were very strict on telling stories about our history, our past. And nowadays, a lot of them are gone, and they've taken a lot of that stuff, stories and teachings, to the grave, and they can't share it anymore. So a lot of our younger generations are growing up not knowing these stories. And so what we try to emphasize on our channel is that it's good to know these stories. You learn from it. You know, we want to our younger generations to carry it on, because after us, who's going to be carrying it, you know? Right.
So guys, Darwin has his own channel too. I'm going to leave that link at the end or in the description here. Definitely check out what he does, because like the story of where you grew up, that one video, I've watched it a couple times. I absolutely love it, because you have an amazing ability to tell story. And like you're saying, these stories are in a way going extinct.
Yeah.
And unless somebody knows you, well, the next best thing is a YouTube video where they're being preserved, let's say on YouTube, for generations, hopefully, right?
Yep.
And so you've worked hard at it, though. It takes a lot of work, doesn't it? Because you speak Navajo.
Yeah.
It's easy to get consumed in the modern world, right? Like you use a GoPro, you have a YouTube channel, you're a modern guy.
Yep.
You have a good job, you're a firefighter, right?
Correct. I have to balance the traditional way and the modern day. And it's hard. It's hard. And on top of that, I have to teach my kids now, my twins, about their way, about their side of their culture.
And you have to teach them the language, right?
The language, too.
Because that's the only way it's going to live, is if parents make an emphasis, and a priority, right?
Yes. So it's our responsibility, me and their mom and everybody else. It's everybody's responsibility to keep it going, to keep that wheel going. Otherwise, we're going to be extinct. We're going to be natives here, but without our language. Without your language, who are you? You know.
Without your stories.
Without our stories, we have to know who we are, where we come from. There's a war hatchet.
War hatchet.
Yeah, look at that. Ancient hatchet. That was a war hatchet, a long time ago. Ancestors are on our side today. The ancestors are giving us a gift.
You're giving me shit now?
Yeah.
Playing with me?
That could be yours, man. You can take it back.
The hatchet from Home Depot?
Yeah.
It's at least 3 years old. I can't believe you touched it. You're bringing back some bad spirits, guys. So what's the story of a house like this?
It's probably, it's got to be a family. So if you see a house like this and you see houses right next to it, it's got to be like they have ties to these lands. Like you can tell.
So that was a settler's home or a native home?
No, that was their home. A family's home back in the day.
Okay.
There's no electricity. They live without electricity.
What are they using? Kerosene lamps?
Kerosene lamps, wood stove. You see a telephone wires out there in the distance. They're connected to homes. Okay. But you don't see any over here. So they got no electricity. So they might have solar panel. I don't know.
So why would someone choose to live out this far? Because that's the land they always have. Like, wouldn't they want to go in closer to town? Wouldn't it be easier? Or why? Walk me through that.
It's a different story if you have ties to this land. Like these guys, obviously, look at that old house. Did you see beside them?
Yeah.
They have ties. Like their ancestors lived here in this area for years. There's a connection there.
They're rooted.
They're deep rooted.
Do you think there are people out here on the res that don't even know who the president is?
Yeah, they don't know.
Really?
My grandpa doesn't even know who he is.
Doesn't know who Joe Biden is?
Yeah, I was actually going to talk to him today, but he's in his, he has a doctor's appointment today. I was going to introduce you to him.
But he doesn't know the president of the United States?
No, I was going to introduce you to him, and I was going to say, this is the president of the United States. He's here for a visit, but that would have been a good one.
Does he consider himself living in America, or doesn't think of it that way at all either?
Doesn't think of it at all. I don't even vote for the United States president myself.
Why is that?
I don't know, like everyone says our vote counts, but really everybody in the White House don't care about the Native Americans. They don't care about us.
Well, to be fair, I don't think they care about any of the normal people anywhere in the country.
Yeah. So that butte we're going to is right up over here. Not these big ones, dude. Like, that would be a hike. The butte we're going to is right up around that knob there.
So how are people with private property like when you're back here? Do they get pissed if you drive by their place?
They will, but I mean, it's kind of like 50-50. They'll like, as long as we don't bother their place and drive right by. Should I go up on top right here?
Yeah.
So if we were deep res before, Dar, we're now deep res.
Yeah, this is deep, dude. Like, there's
Is this as deep as it goes?
no electricity at this house, and I don't even think that there's a road that goes out from here. I don't think anybody lives here right now.
Yeah, he's got all his windows covered.
This is the Wild West, man. Straight across is Hopi land.
Straight up there.
Yep, that's Second Mesa, First Mesa.
Oh yeah? Yeah, Second Mesa did a video up there.
All right, it's be quite a ways to get up there. I mean, not a
Okay,
ways.
so we've done skinwalkers, so I know this is something different.
Yeah, this is something totally different. We're giving you the full tour, Peter.
All right.
Dude, and this is all within our home, like where we live. So everything we're showing you guys is like literally not even like what, a 5-mile radius, 10-mile radius?
This is your playground that's like the size of a small European country.
Yeah. We heard sheep all over this place. My dad actually grew up right over yonder. It's called Finger Point, Arizona. So a lot of these rocks, they collapse because of time. Time consumed them. But wait till we get closer. Some people graffitied it. I hope not. Can you zoom up on that?
I don't have a zoom, but I can try to get closer in the edit. Oh, okay, I see what you're going at there. Okay, yeah. What is that?
And the Sazi drawing. I don't know, a lot of these are kind of like journals back in the day. These are here prehistoric times. They stretch as far as Oklahoma and Colorado. If all the snow on the ground wasn't here, we'd be seeing potteries everywhere. Anasazi potteries.
Is this a sacred Anasazi site?
Everywhere sacred, but yeah, this is one of them. Somebody spray painted that. Don't get that part. Somebody did that.
Someone spray painted, okay.
It looks like it. It's a horse.
That's too bad.
Yeah, if you're up here, like I said, it's like some people don't have respect.
This used to be really clear, I remember that.
Oh, right here, look. They got a bunch of these right here. Dustin, can you?
Oh, wow, that is so
look
cool.
Look over here. So these are like dinosaur drawings.
Right.
You see them? These are prehistoric times.
Oh, wow.
And all the way over here too, you got Anasazis drawing. Now, these are like stories that the Anasazis would tell for like the next coming people who are coming in the area that know this area. Kind of like a...
You don't know any of these stories at all?
No, just out of respect for the Hopis, the Pueblo Zunis, I'm not going to translate it or anything, so...
So I'm just going to try to capture this, guys. When we're not talking or stepping in the snow, it's absolute silence. You don't hear anything out here. All right, let's give it a go. 10 seconds. I mean, how many places in the world do you get that?
Yeah, it's very peaceful. I love it out here. This is home, man.
You gonna move back from Pine Ridge? From
someday. We're gonna move the Twin Indians out here. They're gonna be climbing up and down these mountains.
The Twin Indians, that being your twins.
Yep, the twins. Look at this is nice and peaceful. Right there. That lightning bolt right here was
you
original.
can see the, what is this, the sheep?
Yeah, then look at the lightning bolt.
Yep.
Then you see tracks over here. Looks like deer tracks, like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's so cool just to be around.
This is real, these are real right here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is. Look at maybe somebody ate a lot. Someone had a buffet. Some tracks right here. There's that one like little swirly thing again. I need to be a lot more faster. If we go this way, we have to go all the way.
And climb over?
We could climb over. Yeah, because it's flat on top.
So what's over there on the other side?
It's like about the same size of this rock here. And down at the bottom, it has like pictures of like all the land animals and like whatever, like dinosaurs and stuff it had, and human beings. And like in the middle of the rock, it had like a UFO like ship. Yeah, it was like a diamond like that. And it was light beaming down. And then they had like, then they like engraved stars into the top, like sky.
And it looks like a UFO.
It looked like a UFO. It was like, huh, something.
It's over here somewhere?
Yeah, it's right around. We'll probably jump over, get up on top and go over there to get there quicker. Hopefully it's still there. There's a lot to talk about, Peter. I want to
I'm all ears, man.
I want to show you and do a lot of things here, but it's like I don't want time to get too late on this.
We can climb this one.
You sure?
Why not?
No, I think we can climb it right here. It's a lot easier. If there's a mountain lion that jumps out, you got your gun? Yeah. Okay. I don't want a mountain lion to jump up.
So are you trying to bring up the fear factor, or are there actually serious a lot of mountain lions living around here?
There's mountain lions. Bobcats.
Bobcats, do they ever attack?
Not that I've heard of, but they could, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now we're on top. Oh man. Remember, Dustin? So right up there, it's gone. I mean, it's kind of, time kind of consumed it. But right up there, there's like a Anasazi kind of style, but it's like a Mayan calendar.
Oh yeah.
Right up there. I forgot to tell you about that.
So the pottery's everywhere.
Everywhere.
So some archaeologist comes up here and you're like, thanks, but no thanks. Can you please go home?
Yeah.
Is that the story?
Yep. We don't want them around here. They're going to take too much and disturb our ancestors.
You don't want to see that in a museum?
Nope. And I'm sure the Pueblos and the Hopis wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, this is ancient. These are our ancestors. That's their ancestors. And even though they were their ancestors, we, as Navajos, we gonna go defend it, because this is home for all of us.
I totally get it. If someone came into where I lived and took things from the land that meant something to me,
yeah, I
wouldn't be too happy about it.
I'm sure if somebody came to your neighbor's home and took something from them, you would try to defend them. You know, that's their property. And so that's the same way as us Apaches and Hopis and Pueblos and Zunis. Where was it, Dustin? It was right here in this area. Like I said, see, a lot of this stuff just decayed.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on this rock. It looks like it was, huh, Dust?
Yeah, it's something similar to this size.
Want me to jump down there real quick and go check it out?
Okay.
I'll be right back down. Where at? Okay, let me go check it out real quick. I'll go scout it out before everybody comes down. Can you see anything on that side?
Hey, whose dogs?
Where?
Right here.
We got some res dogs.
Yeah.
Are these guys dangerous or no?
No, it don't look like it.
They're friendly res dogs.
Yeah, I don't see anything over here, dog.
Peter, it might have collapsed.
Just crumbled up. The spaceship crumbled up.
Yeah. Whose dog is that?
I don't know.
If we see anybody coming, we'll just stop recording and tell you we're just taking the in-law out. We're walking the park.
Yeah, it does crumble easily, huh? That just shipped right away.
This part's going to be kind of hard to climb up, so grab a good rock. Just as long as you get to that boulder, you're good on top.
All right, Tar. Show us the way.
Here we go.
Fearless leader. Moral of the story is don't fall.
Yeah. Watch your step.
Going down looks sketchy, Dar.
Yeah, sure is. Do you believe in UFOs?
I'm undecided. I have no way to prove or disprove, so I just don't know.
The reason why I ask is at night, not every night, but some nights, you see lights on top of these buttes, like bright lights. And sometimes you just see them zoom out. And it's like, what is that? You know, like you only see it for a split second, or sometimes they're like covering just the brightest lights, man, like the sun's out.
Okay, let me ask you this. Are you close to military bases here? Pretty close, right?
We live underneath a fly zone. If you look at the military fly zone, the map, we live, like where we live, literally like sky trails everywhere above our house. And every so often they'll do like military operations during the daytime with helicopters, like Black Hawks.
On the res?
On the res, yeah.
So do most people here on the res believe in UFOs or coming down to these mesas?
It's like a 50-50,
huh?
yeah, it depends.
You guys definitely do.
We definitely do. I do, at least.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, now like I'd be up at 2, 3 in the morning and something would be hovering above these buttes. Bright, like there's no flashing lights. It's just so bright lights, and all of a sudden it's like out of the picture. It's like, what the hell was that, you know?
So the Mayan calendar's up here somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know how it ended up way up here.
You see anything?
No. It might have went with time there, Peter.
When's the last time you saw it?
When I used to live down here, probably about 21, 22 years old.
So you think it could be buried under this dirt?
Could be.
Yeah, because you can see this dirt sort of blows in.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I can't find, I don't want to consume too much time.
Yeah, no, we can go.
We still got quite a ways to go. We got to get some gas for your war pony. We're on like one leg right now. We're living on a prayer, Peter.
All right, guys, we didn't find the calendar, but those were very cool petroglyphs, you guys.
There's a lot more.
And just being out here is amazing.
The hand one?
The hand one?
Oh yeah. Yeah, let's just go down there. It's a less more rockier.
So cool out here, guys. It's just big, open spaces in every direction. With some dogs that found us. What's up? What's up? No jumping on me here. Look at these dogs. This is their playground. Such clean air out here.
We got a family over here of Anasazis. A family portrait. We got a whole tribe of Anasazis right here. Look closely.
Oh yeah.
Zoom up. You got everybody, the whole tribe was here at one point. You got all their feet and their handprints.
The GoPro can pick it up. So they just carved out their hands.
Yeah, and right over here too. You see two.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
Oh wow.
That's a whole family. Whatever family was coming through, they definitely put their print in here. And you want to know why there's a pottery everywhere? Let me show you something cool. Tell me how that feels. That's clay.
All right.
This is clay.
It's just clay right out of the dirt.
So you can make a pottery out of it, and then it's already colored. Then you just get some white, paint it in there, or they dye it with their with these plants around here.
And then you just fire it over the oven?
You can throw it
over a fire?
Over a fire. You can start a fire there. That can be our oven and turn this into a pottery, and eventually it'll turn into a pottery. Like, I mean, this is probably crap, but you know, you can make a cup or something out of it.
Yeah, it's very sticky.
I've done it before. You're in Navajo country. Delcon, Arizona is where we're at.
Delcon has a brand new hospital. Is that what that is?
Yeah, this is kind of like the halfway point for a lot of communities that live within the interior of the reservation. We got a grocery store, Bash's, got a laundromat, Pizza Edge. Look at that race truck. You look like you're originally from Atisto now.
So this is like a Dilkon suburb.
Yeah.
Fair to say?
Yep.
Okay, how does that work with the housing here? Because every res seems to be different. Is that free housing for people? They're paying rent?
They're
elderly?
paying. It's more of a rent, right, Dustin?
Yeah.
It's more of a rent home.
But that's owned by the Bureau of Indian Affairs?
Yep, BIA Housings.
Which is basically federal government, right?
Yep.
Are there any gangs out here? Like when you see graffiti, is anyone tagging turf, or is that not
There
happening?
was a long time ago, but I don't think there is nowadays. It's just like any old res, they love to tag now and then, but gangs kind of came and gone, that era.
What's the drug situation out here? I know it depends on every res and every area.
Yeah, so it's just like you said, like it depends. There is drugs like meth, and it's everywhere, man. It's in our own community. It's in this community. Every community has it on this res. This is the police department here. This is the holding cell. They're like in trailers. If it gets too full, they transport all the inmates to Window Rock, which is the capital of the reservation, Window Rock Jail. So this is where they book him. The drunk take on one side, and the other one is just like a holding cell. Then over here is the courthouse. Fitness center is over there.
Fitness center?
Yep. You can go work out, take a shower there.
For the prisoners, or?
No, for us.
For anyone,
for
okay.
the community.
That's your fitness center.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And then this gym right here, NCF gym.
Yeah.
That's a church place, but it was also donated by Alice Cooper.
No way.
And his wife, yeah. They donated that whole building, and they would perform live music there.
Alice Cooper would come here.
Yep. He's from Phoenix, and he would come up here. He's well known to the Navajo people. So whenever he comes up here, Navajos gift him with jewelries like this and Navajo rugs. Over here, there's a hospital. Then straight across, they're still working on it. It's the doctors and the nurses are going to be living in there. So I think when this is completed, they're going to open up the hospital.
Okay, so things are on the up in Dilkon, fair to say. Like, there's new development. It doesn't feel like it's decaying.
Yep,
Feels like it's building. Look at off in the distance.
It's
You can see
growing.
those homes.
Yeah, it's definitely growing compared to how it was back then. So this is Cedar Springs Trading Post. So the history behind it is 1910, early 1900, the owner of the trading post actually got shot and killed by two Navajo brothers. I guess back then the tensions were still high between the Navajos and the Bilaganas, the white men.
This was a Bilagana place?
Yeah, the owner was a white guy. They pretty much robbed him clean. Okay. And took off. And they say his spirit's still in here. There's talks that his ghost is still. The story goes they shot him once in the gut. Then he bled out on the floor, and along came another Navajo family trying to grab some supplies from here. And here they opened the door. They found the owner bleeding out on the ground, and
that's cool. It's like a painting here, looking out the window like that.
This is Sebedalkai School, right there, the sign, boarding school. Everything is Hogan design built now. If you see every building, it's Hogan,
Right, so you actually use the Hogan at school now?
Yep.
You were telling me in the car, when you were here going to school, it was something totally different. It was an actual boarding school?
Yeah, it was an actual a boarding school. Like they had everybody. I mean, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't that harsh of a boarding school back when I was in there, but it was more like they kind of had that instilled, like they would Tuesdays and Thursdays we were required to take showers on Thursdays and Fridays, and we were required to do certain activities. And there's other boarding schools that were harsh, where they beat the Indians, and I mean that was back in the day.
Right.
But now it's just like I think they're embracing more of the Navajo, culture, the language here now, and
Do they teach the language here?
They do now, yeah.
It looks like things have gotten better from the outside. If I look at that hospital that's being built,
Yeah.
the grocery store, the school, or is that just a facade? It's just structures, it's not culture? Or like, what are your thoughts on that?
It's, no, they're actually thriving, man. It's actually slowly but surely. It's taken years, but they're definitely getting there.
This dog doesn't bite?
No, these are our sheepdogs.
All right, you wanted to finish up on this, and this is a very important site for you guys.
Yeah, this is one of our great-grandmother's home, grandma's home here. If you can look closely, there's a hogan-like around here, the way it was built, the hogan, octagon.
Okay, yeah.
We still consider it a home for her. There's a coffee pot there that's been there for years, and I tell people that and they're amazed. So it's one of the oldest souvenirs that still exist around her area. She was alone at the time, I believe. One of our great-grandpas, he was a chief. His name was Adeltohi. He was a sharpshooter. So he's buried at that mountain they call Montezuma Chair.
Okay, that big
square.
plateau?
Yep.
Okay.
That one. If you look around, you can see where she was located. At that time, 1800s, there was soldiers and enemies were lurking around, and this is where she planted herself.
So this was a strategic place so she could see what was going on in that valley?
Yeah.
And then that valley?
Yeah, so the story goes, there's a lot of people would transport through those. If you guys can see the mountain that kind of like intervenes together, that was kind of like a passage through that way. So there was like wagons coming and going, soldiers coming and going.
Wagons were coming and going here?
Yep, with the cavalry during the 1860s when they did the Navajo long walk. They were gathering up all the Navajos, and so she was on her toes. So this is where she was planted, and she could see. She had the higher vantage point, and she could see everything and everybody who was coming in, who was going. So,
but they didn't take her.
They didn't take her. Nope.
Why not? Do you think?
She hid very well, and I mean there was some other relatives of ours. They did go on that long walk, but she was like one of the few who did not go.
But she hid in the house, or she hid somewhere else in the desert?
No, she hid up in the mountains. There was other places. Like this wasn't just their only place. They had other multiple spots. For example, she probably hid up there in the mountaintops because the soldiers couldn't find everybody. They couldn't round up everybody, but they couldn't. They only searched only so much, and then they would give up. There's a site right across. I don't know if we should go there, Peter. Do you think so? There's a burial site just right straight across.
Yeah, I mean, is it okay if I put that on camera?
Yeah, I already did. So okay.
All right.
So there's a lot of family that is buried over there, and they're hidden very well from the soldiers and grave robbers. So this is a sweat lodge. In Navajo, we call Kache. One of the many sweat lodges we have that's been in our family for generations and generations.
So how would you, it was like dug out? Like did it
So how it originally was it became like a rat's nest now, but all that would be gone and it would be in the dirt. It would be in the earth.
So you would go down there?
Yep. It would be like a kiva. You know what a kiva is? Yeah. You go in there and you sit around in there, and everything, all these cracks would be filled with mud. So it would look like a little mud house. Then those rocks here, from my ancestors, they were probably, they probably sweating them. They heat up the rocks right here. They have somebody bring it in, and then they sweat.
Do you do sweat lodge ever?
Yeah, all the time.
What do you get out of it?
It's more of a cleansing ceremony. Actually, a warrior ceremony as well. Warriors who went to battle would participate in those ceremonies. When they go to battle, they end up taking life. They kill somebody. Yeah. And when they come home with PTSD. And we believe that the person they killed, their spirit still lingers onto them. And then they have these dreams, these PTSD dreams. So a sweat lodge, that chases that spirit away. We send it home.
Okay.
So especially when the wars happened, like during the Iraqi war and all that,
Okay.
a lot of soldiers that came back from Afghanistan and Iraq, that helped them out.
A lot of people don't know that too, that many natives are in the military.
Yeah, yeah, we have a high percentage of us are in the military. This is one of our ancestral burial sites of our family. We have deep ties to these lands, and a lot of our ancestors are buried amongst these lands. And if you look closely, there's one here, there's one there by the truck, and there's quite a few more up there.
So just these piles of rock.
Yeah,
So you don't know who this is?
Back then, those were dark times, and whenever a family would die, we would hide them. You know, we would tuck them away somewhere where they can't be seen, because after the soldiers rounded all of us up for Fort Sumner, they had grave robbers. The settlers from border towns would come in on their, horses and wagons, and if they find an Indian burial ground, re-dig them back up and sell their bones to a trading post for change.
What were they getting out of the bones?
Money.
But why would someone want bones? Like,
That's just how it was back then. Like, there would be signs, there's all pictures out there that have signs that say Indian scalps, Indian bones, anything that belonged to an Indian was like, they would buy it for you from a certain individual.
Huh.
So that's why a lot of these are unmarked, and they were tucked up here in the canyon.
And your family's home is just right down here.
Yeah.
You can see it in the distance.
Yep, and then the soldiers would come right down there, but when they look up here, they can't see nothing. See how this is hidden behind a tree?
And this landscape is so vast.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at, in the far reaches of our vision, that would be if there's a direct road, like an hour and a half drive or something, right? It's forever out there. Darwin, you're a legend. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
A lot of stories. I know it's not normal to bring an outsider in with a camera. And I think it's because we did that first video, right? Like, you're like, okay, we can go next level.
Yep.
Because this is deep res. This isn't on the main road res, guys. This is...
we're off the grid.
We had a very unique tour today. I think that very few from the outside see. So really appreciate that. Respect to you.
Thank you.
Guys, Darwin has a channel also with his wife. I'm gonna leave that down below. I'll leave the icon up here. You can click on it. And Dustin also has a channel. The name of it?
Tisto Vlogs.
Okay, Tisto Vlogs. And that's just about the area here, right? Okay. I'll leave that down below and up above here also, guys. Anything else? Is that
Thank you for tuning in there, Peter. Appreciate it.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming along, guys. Until the next one.